Hello everyone, welcome back to the third episode. 2 days later, after the day, things was a bit better now, as he thought from the point of view of his mother, but still he wasn't fully fine. He always stayed in his room for the last 2 days. No one talked to him about the marriage yet, and he has no clue about it. He just wanted to be alone, and his parents gave him the privacy Taehyung needed, whereas Jungkook told his father that he is ready to marry Taehyung only if Taehyung agrees. Jungkook told them to not force Taehyung if they doesn't want to marry Jungkook. Taehyung was sitting in the room when his mom knocked on the door. They said her to come in and she entered. She came and sat beside Taehyung. She was a bit nervous, but she knew she had to do it as they don't have much time. Baby, I want to talk to you about something really important, Mrs. Kim said, and Taehyung nodded to her. You know what that this marriage was so important for your dad and Mr. Jeon, right? She said, and Taehyung nodded again. They doesn't know what is left to talk about this, but he still let Emma speak. Well, everything is on stake. Our reputation, company, and both families' relation to the Mrs. Kim said. Taehyung didn't react to that as they knew this is going to go somewhere they wouldn't gonna like, but they still choose to listen. Well, as the names of the two heirs are not announced in the media, we propose the only solution for this problem is to arrange your marriage with Jungkook. She hesitantly said. Taehyung was shocked and is an understatement. He knew something would come bad, but he wasn't expecting this. How can they do this to them after what happened to Yoongi and Jimin? What are you saying, Gemma? They asked skeptically. Well, we don't have an option, baby. The marriage news is all over and this is the only solution we have come up with. But it's still up to you. We are not gonna force you, but I want you to at least think about it, Mrs. Kim said, assuring Taehyung. What did Jungkook say about this proposal? Taehyung asked as he was curious what Jungkook's reaction could be. Jungkook doesn't like Taehyung even a bit. If only you know about his love. Jungkook said he's okay if you agree to this. Mrs. Kim told Tae with a smile on her face. Taehyung was shocked again. Jungkook accepted the wedding. Tae can't believe it, but then, well, what more option do they have? They thought. Okay, Ma, I will tell you and Dad my decision at the dinner, they said. Okay, love, Mrs. Kim said and kissed thanks for her before leaving. The day ended really fast and time for dinner was already there, and Taehyung was ready with his decision too. He had thought about this a lot after having his lunch this afternoon in silence. One on the dining table, Taehyung's dad asked, so you have made your decision, Taehyung? He wasn't forcing Taehyung, but they doesn't have much time because if Taehyung doesn't want to agree, they have to do something else for their company and all. Yes, Dad, I'm ready to marry Jungkook, they said, and their parents were so happy. His mother even came and hugged Taehyung. Look at them after the hug. But before that, I want to talk to Jungkook. Then I will tell you my final decision, they said, and they agreed. They were happy that at least Taehyung is not fully denying it, whereas Taehyung just wants to be sure that why Jungkook is ready to marry him because they force Jungkook. They doesn't want something like that to happen with Yoongi to happen again. After that, he bid goodbye to his parents, go to his room. He lay on the bed and looked at the ceiling and again thoughts about his decision. Well, it was okay for him because he knows how important this marriage was for his parents. Also, they believes that he wouldn't ever have a love marriage. They always thought he will marry to yoongi and it is gonna be a happy love marriage. But now they had no hope in love life. So in the end, they will have to marry some stranger his parents will find for him. So marry to his old best friend is better than marry some stranger. They also, Taehyung wants to know what Jungkook's thoughts are about this. Did Jungkook really accept it so easily? And if Jungkook did, that means his parents are in trouble. They doesn't want to trouble his parents more too, so they decided to marry Jungkook if it is not forced. Now they was just waiting to talk to Jungkook so he can know why all of a sudden Jungkook agreed to marry him when Jungkook doesn't even talk to Taehyung properly in past 6-7 years. And even if Jungkook talked, it was only rudely. What exactly has changed? What is it? Jungkook's mind now. Time escaped. The next day, the Jian family called Kim for dinner. It's not anything special, it's just their usual thing. As both families always spend time together, they are like a big family more than friends or neighbors. Taehyung doesn't want to go at first, but as he has to see Yoongi and his husband Jimin, but then his mom told Tae that he can talk Jungkook and tell the final decision at his stage only 8 days left before the wedding, so Taehyung agreed. Tae knows things are going so fast, but he can't do anything. They made their way to the Jian mansion and settled to talk. They were behaving as if nothing had changed, but Taehyung was feeling the tension in the atmosphere. Anyone who don't know the family will think they are okay, but the happy ambition they used to have was missing. The only and closer one knows that after some time they had their dinner and food was amazing like always. While eating, they got a glimpse of Yoongi, who was very lovingly putting a dessert on his husband's plate, and Jimin was blushing looking at his husband. They are really enjoying themselves and looking so in love. Taehyung felt that family a pang on his heart again, and now it became so difficult for him that for the first time in history they didn't have his dessert. Taehyung excused himself from the rest of the family. He was feeling nuisance as he decided to go and stood in the balcony. He always came here when he wants to be alone. Jungkook saw that. He saw everything, how Taehyung's mood changed after seeing Youngmin, how they didn't eat the dessert, and how he looked so sad. Jungkook was feeling the same as he can't see his love, his bubbly Taehyung sad face. For Taehyung, Jungkook might be just an old friend, but for Jungkook, Taehyung is his whole world to him. After dinner, everyone settled in the living room again for their chit chat. Jungkook stood in the corner listening to them. That's when Taehyung's mom came near him. Jungkook, she called him, and Jungkook looked at her. Yes, mom, he said. They all have called each other parents, Emma and Appa, or mom and dad since childhood. They have been like a big family since the start. Go talk to Taehyung, Jungkook. They wants to talk to you about marriage and they need someone right now. He is sad, Jungkook, she said to him, and Jungkook looked at her confusedly. I don't think he need me out of all people, Jungkook said sadly, and Mrs. Kim can see the sadness in his eyes. Believe me, Jungkook, you are the right person he needs the most right now, the one who truly loves him, she said, and Jungkook was shocked and is an underestimate What are you saying, Mom? Jungkook said and looked at everywhere else except her, trying to deny the fact that she might know that he loves Taehyung. I know, Jungkook, I am so happy. You are the perfect one for my bear, and I am not saying this now just because I want you to guys get married or because of the announcement. But I know that you would be perfect one for Taehyung. She paused and Jungkook looked at her. Can't really know how to react about this. Yes, Jungkook, the love I have seen in your eyes is enough to tell me how much he means to you, she said, and Jungkook hugged her. Jungkook has always been close to Taehyung's mom, even more than his mom, as his mom had always been close to Yoongi, and Jungkook doesn't know why he doesn't feel the free to talk with her about how he feels. But with Taehyung's mom, it was always easy. Mrs. Kim understand him so easily. Also, Jungkook and Mrs. Kim's favorite, whereas Taehyung and Yoongi was his parents' favorite. Jungkook always thinks he could never become close to his Emma like this. Thank you, Mom, for trusting me, and I promise if we get married, I will make Taehyung the happiest and ever. If we don't, I will do my best to make him happy, Jungkook said, and Mrs. Kim smiled, looking at him. I know, she said happily. Was I that obvious that you also know, Mom, that I like Taehyung? Jungkook asked her, and she glanced and ruffled his hair. No, you were not. It was just a mother instinct. But who else know though? She asked as Jungkook told her, Yoongi. Jungkook said, and she smiled again, thanking heavens that Yoongi knows, because Mrs. Kim might never get the courage to suggest Taekook's marriage because of Taehyung, as they might hate her. That she did that when Taehyung was got heartbroken. Okay, now go, she said, and Jungkook smiled and left. From there, he made his way to the first floor balcony Taehyung was at. Jungkook got there and stood there beside Tae. It took him around 2 minutes and a lot of courage to say something. Hi, Jungkook said. Hi, Taehyung replied without even looking at him. Again, they stood in silence, didn't know how to start their conversation. Why did you agree to this marriage? Taehyung asked Jungkook after some time. Because it's important for our families, Taehyung, you know that, Jungkook said, as he knows he can't tell Taehyung that he loves him, at least not now. Taehyung is just heartbroken. Really, is that all? Is it is that important that you are ready to marry the person you hate so much? Taehyung said. Jungkook immediately looked at Tae, but Taehyung wasn't looking at him. Tae was just looking straight, but Tae can feel a gaze on himself. I don't hate you, Tae. How can you think that? Jungkook said. Really, Jungkook? You don't hate me because your actions are say differently. It's been 7 years, Jungkook. You haven't talked to me properly. We used to be best friends, but you just stopped talking to me. What? I did everything. Try to talk to you to know what I did wrong, but no, you just ignored me like I don't exist. Taehyung said, finally looking at Jungkook, releasing all his frustration that they had hold on for Jungkook all these years. He was so upset with himself as he always thought he might do something so wrong that Jungkook hates him. He blamed himself for everything, and that's why Taehyung couldn't control the tears that are dropping from his eyes. For the first time in these 7 years, Jungkook couldn't control himself, so he went near Taehyung and hugged him tightly. He was crying really bad now. Taehyung, I'm sorry. I know it's all my fault. Please don't cry, Taehyung. I don't hate you. I can't ever hate you, Jungkook said and wiped Taehyung's tears. When Taehyung calmed down, they distanced from each other again as it suddenly become awkward for them. Then why? Tell me, Jungkook, what did you do? That Taehyung asked. It's really important for him to know everything before the wedding. I wasn't ready to accept you and Yoongi Hyung's marriage, Jungkook said, turning away so he doesn't have to look at Taehyung. Huh? What do you mean by that? Taehyung asked. They couldn't understand what Jungkook is mean by this. They never understand Jungkook's behavior towards him has anything to do with his and Young's wedding unless Jungkook have feelings for Taehyung or hate him so much that he didn't want Taehyung to become a part of his family, but feelings that can't be possible, right? It can't be happen. Jungkook never saw any signs that he likes Taehyung. Even they remember Jungkook once said that he will never gonna like someone like Taehyung when they were kids because we were best friends. Taehyung, I wasn't ready to take a change in our relationship. I wasn't ready to be your brother-in-law, so I started getting away from you, Jungkook said and took a sigh. I know it's stupid, but at that time I thought that is the only way. I mean, I wasn't sure how should I be with you anymore as you were about to become my brother-in-law. All of a sudden, I wasn't ready for the change in our relationship, our friendship to a relationship, Jungkook said. And Taehyung felt a bit revealed as he didn't know how would he react if Jungkook said it was because Jungkook liked him. It would become awkward, but thank God that was not case. Oh, and so it took you exactly 7 years to adjust? Taehyung asked weirdly, but Jungkook's response, no, I accepted that in a year, but then we have already been apart. I felt like I already lost you and I couldn't get the courage to come and say sorry. I thought I have already lost my best friend because of my stupidity. Jungkook said and looked down. You really are stupid. You know that, right? And how will you react now, Jungkook? This is also a change in our relationship. I will be your husband now, so will you going to ignore me after the marriage? How will you gonna accept this? Taehyung asked in a demanding tone with his hands folded. They also glared at Jungkook, who stood there looking down, don't know what to say. Are you gonna answer or not, Jungkook? Taehyung said, waiting for Jungkook to say something. No, Taehyung, I wouldn't ignore you. I know. I was stupid in the past, but not now. I know it will be difficult for us to accept each other as husbands, and that's why I think we can start being friends again. Jungkook said and Taehyung smiled. It's true, they thought the same too. Taehyung agreed with Jungkook. He was happy Jungkook had understood his mistake and that they can be friends again. So, okay, so we can get married and be friends, but I still haven't forgiven you for what you did. So you have to win my trust back, Jungkook. Taehyung said to Jungkook, pointing a finger at him and warned Jungkook quickly, but with the power Jungkook could at him internally. Okay, I will do whatever I can do to win your trust, Taehyung, Jungkook said, and Taehyung smiled, but he doesn't know the exact meaning behind Jungkook's word. Jungkook will not only going to win back his friend, but also gonna win Taehyung's heart in the process. After that, Taekook made their way downstairs and told their family that they are ready to this wedding. Both the families were happy. After that, they called it a night and made their way to their rooms and other family to their house. Both Jungkook and Taehyung lie in their respective rooms thinking about the future that is waiting for them to be continued. Ami, what do you think about the story? Soon Taekook is going to get married. I hope you will love this. And what do you think about it? Comment it down. I will see you again with the next episode tomorrow 9 p.m. Till then, take care of yourself. Bye bye. Bye.